Board games, board games. We might be talking about board games, but I'm not gonna shout. I am talking about the deck we know well. It is the deck that I've renamed the ELL deck, and it's going to talk about typography. People have sent various letters to me, letters made of foliage and shaped like a tree, or animals which are looking funny. Or there's diagonal lines which you like alien signs, or colorful patterns and triangles and binds. Arts contest is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the LDEC arts contest and picking a winner, and I'm not gonna shout. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good whatever it is, wherever you are. It is 10 a.m.ish UK time for Busy Beats and Board Game Blether, and I am today picking a winner for the LDEC Arts Contest. And this is the second time, I believe, that I've expressed opinions publicly. I showed them all on Twitter. And so if you're following me, if you're following the LDEC, if you are on Facebook, then you will have seen it. And I will be sharing that in a wee bit. Like on my mailing list. Now, ultimately, what I'm going to do today is to look through the different things that were submitted and say, this is the winner. Because we had some amazing things, like one's based on foliage, one's based on animals, one's based on all these diagonal lines, and it's kind of weird typeface, and one's just colorful and like patterns. And I'll show you them in just a moment. But before I get to that, very quickly, I would like to talk about recent highlights, living life and seeing the sights. Recent highlights, playing games and other delights. Recent highlights. I continue to get drinks from my subscription. Honestly, after less than a week, I'm getting bored of the drinks because I've had them all except for the Americano. And it's lots of coffee. I'm getting lots of caffeine. I don't think this is entirely healthy for me to be going out and getting caffeine. And like yesterday, I was like, I don't really feel like I need all my drinks today. I had a bit of a relaxing day yesterday. I ended up doing a bit of design for my abstract game about making shapes to collect abilities to make bigger shapes to win the game. And that was a fun wee thing. I pondered some levels for Questable, which is really interesting. There's so much in that game that it could definitely be developed quite a lot more. It feels like, yes, all the level design has been done. It's really good. Now it's firmly into the development phase. I would like to, that's basically it. What have you been up to? Feel free to let me know. Otherwise, brilliant thing. What's a little thing which is brilliant? I'm going to say that a brilliant thing is typography. Because letters, sure, they are about shapes. They're about, okay, you've got these discrete shapes that impart a meaning, whether it's three horizontal lines makes it into an E, or if there was the bottom line missing, that would be the F. And you can play with them. There's a lot of something going on. And Alex says, I would like to see more levels in Questable. It really intrigues me. Yes, you saw the last one, and I said to the designer yesterday that I feel like they've only got really 13 ideas, and I came up with like 2 ideas more. And what I'm thinking is maybe it should be 10 levels, but then 10 levels as a tutorial for 10 levels for people who struggle making words, 10 levels for people who are relatively confident at reading and writing. And when I say struggle making words, I mean like literally 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, like that would be super easy. And then the middle version is like what I would expect most adults to go to, like the medium difficulty, and then the upper difficulty is for people like myself or David Brain, and then the insane level 5. And I was thinking it would be kind of a repeat of the same 10 levels, but then with a massive difficulty increase. So level 1 would be similar to level 11, but with higher difficulties, and there would be some twists. Anyway, that was my vague idea. But yeah, if you've got ideas for that, feel free to chime them in, because I feel like this is the one where it is fundamentally, it's interesting. Some of the games were done, but that one, there's a lot more development that could be done. Anyway, brilliant thing, typography. Yes, typography not only expresses like it not only expresses meaning, imparts meaning by the shape of the letters, but it also expresses an emotion. So I just want to draw attention to any of the artists who might be watching this. Please, before you finish watching this, do go and check out the previous video. I will put that into the links. Whoops, I doubled that up. That will not work. Don't click that one, because that's the same link twice. But yes, please check out the previous YouTube video where we talked about all our favorite things. And myself and John and Amy and Jack on Tuesday, on Saturday even, we went through and discussed these things. And you can check that out and get a little bit of everybody else's opinions. If you want to check out other people's opinions on Twitter, then please do so. But now, if you've looked at the YouTube video already, you know who made these things, and I am going to stop that camera and just go through these, announcing who made them, congratulating them, because everyone did a fantastic job. And I want to celebrate y'all, because let's start in the order that they were submitted. This is just beautiful. Like from a technical point of view. So here, this is by Matthew Moore, and I'm going to talk about them from a point of view of readability, prettiness, and interestingness. Readability, this is fantastic. I do question the little uptick on the EHT. Why isn't it there on the L? Why isn't it there on the bottom of the L? Potential, like, although I see that it's only on the top. But whilst that arguably makes it slightly different to the basic shapes, these slight variations almost add so much to the interestingness. It makes me, someone else was saying that these were like the tree trunks and then the trees were going there. I think of them as little cake decorations that you put into the cake, and then there's something very tactile about these. Thanks to, I don't know whether it was brush, the pattern in itself is kind of repetitive. So it scores down marks for that, but it is immensely cohesive. It just looks gorgeous. And this feels the most like it would be ready and people would see it on a card and be like, yeah, that looks beautiful. So let me get rid of that. So this one is by the Foliage, as it says on the bottom, by Matthew Moore. And I think this is just fantastic. It made me smile. It made me excited to see it. It made me think, yeah, you've done a great job. And just because you might not be able to see it, I'm really zooming in here so that you can just see the texture. And it's Pretty. So zooming out, and let's move on to the next one, the animals. Now, and yes, I agree, it is just lovely detail. The animals all seem to be hand-drawn. So when these were submitted on paper. I'll note that Jack took out a bit of the background. The letters are slightly wonky. I'm just going to acknowledge that. From a readability point of view, like if you look at the E, it's not quite perfectly vertical. The H isn't quite perfectly aligned. Normally, I would prefer the bottom of the H to be slightly wider than the top, if anything. I mean, ideally, I'd want them to be both the same. But there is a really interesting kind of slight wonkiness in there that I actually really appreciate. And yeah, the fact that it is kind of all... I mean, parts of me would like all the black lines to be exactly the same thickness and have a bit more consistency there. Parts of me actually appreciates the fact that, okay, with this C, like, okay, there's a bit of line width variation on the top left. Yes, it's a bit thinner. That feels like it follows the natural curve of the pen. But in L, why is that so thin compared to the C and the K? Yeah, why? I mean, is that a bad thing? Maybe it is, but on the other hand, it also adds to the interestingness. And in terms of interestingness and prettiness, I'm actually with Amy. I really like this. For me, looking more closely, so you've got the turtle, the horse, I assume this is an eagle, and the lion. I mean, this is a really weird lion with giant's neck. What's going on? But they all kind of are pushed into being these shapes, even if it's abstract. And someone talked about those manuscripts, ancient manuscripts, where, you know, some of those ancient drawings, they have animals that don't look like the animals they're meant to represent. I think there's something incredibly charming that the art that yeah, I'm allowed to say the artist's name. So this is Cerys Sullivan, and Cerys has just, it makes me smile. That's what I love about this. This is, oh, it just makes me feel, And I wish that I could have recorded the first time I looked at it, because when I clicked, I was like, oh, and I wonder what the next letter is. Oh, and I wonder what the next letter is. Each letter was a real surprise. And for me, this is the one that scored the highest on interestingness. I'm just going to note that if I zoom out. Now, fine. Next, we've got the, is that a chunky eagle? No, yeah, I assume it's an eagle because eagle for E. I mean, I assume it's an eagle. Anyway, so, yeah, this is, these are all diagonal lines. The person here said that they were inspired by an alien language. They wanted to make it look slightly alien. So this is, as you can see, diagonal hand-drawn lines, and these again were drawn on paper, and Jack had to do a bit of manipulation to make it all work by Rob Cramer. So I do like this. I like the energy behind it. It feels like, I mean, looking at the things here, I'm going to actually analyze all the letters really quickly. So I don't like the D in this one. The D in this one, it looks a bit too flat. I think it would be nicer if it was like a bit more pointy. A serif on the D helps so much. If you don't have a serif, you really need to tighten up that corner on the bottom left for a capital, because otherwise it can impede the readability. Like I do like this one. I like this set of letters, and DL here is a bit thick, but interestingly, like here, I do like the K. I actually prefer the K on this one, where I like the lines being visible on the C and the K, where you can actually see the lines, and it's not so much I'm going through and through and through, and it's something laboriously done. But with that K, you can actually see the pen strokes. I do like that. I like how you've got the sort of detail that you can imagine the person who made it. I really enjoy looking at this, and I love the D in this one. And interestingly, everyone, even though this is probably the weirdest C, really appreciated this little smidgen of the C. And I would have liked to see more weirdness, because I think that the readability is fine. I think that like maybe here, like the E is a little, like it feels good. It feels like fine. It feels like even if you rotate the letters, you'd be able to see what they say. But I mean, I guess EW. But no, I think that's fairly clearly an E. And I think that you could potentially play a little bit more with actually showing more of those, the hand-drawn element. But this was a delight to watch. And again, thank you, Rob Cramer, for submitting this. Now, the final thing that I want to show is by Alex, who's in the audience, Alex Cannon. So we've got the colors and red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and it goes through, and then Alex submitted these as, so you've, whoops, didn't mean to do that. Let's move in again. So we've got the T with the circles on it, and it all obviously goes through in rainbow order, roughly. We already said that it would be potentially nice if these had an outline just to aid the readability of the L. I do think that there's something really interesting about having these different patterns embedded into the letters. Like they look like they are cut out from some wrapping paper or something. But imagine if they had, like, I like the fact that it's not quite perfect, that there's a handmade element where, yes, the two L's are identical, but there's almost a naturalistic curve to the left of the L. I really like that. And the curves on all, I mean, I think the little bit here and here is perfectly straight, but is the top and bottom also straight? But most of the lines, they aren't straight lines, and that's really interesting. It is as if someone came out with scissors. I would have liked to see like a little bit more like bits poking out, like it's been badly cut, but it has a nice mixture of crispness, like with the D, the little flare going up and down just to really accentuate the D. So yeah, sometimes at a glance, D's, O's can be confused, and having that little pew come out, I really like that. And also the C, I mean, that's such a nice C. I mean, in theory, it could be confused with a U, but yeah, this is really nice. And hello, Yoda. It is lovely to see you, and I hope that you're doing well. And Alex says, yes, they are all slightly curved. I wanted to make a set that combines the letter and suit. So in theory, each of the 6 suits, if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I see. So in theory, the 6 suits are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and then they all have different patterns. Okay. And I can also see that in terms of the shapes used, it's the shapes that have 0, well, a kind of 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines, 4 lines, 5 lines, and 6 lines. There's a nice pleasing pattern to that. I will note that once you get to 5 and 6, it's slightly harder to tell the difference. But I do really like that. And I think I was discussing with Jack on Saturday. I think that all the information, even despite the previews for couple and categorical, I think that's all the information for cards. Does need to be on the edges, but still having more information in those letters is really interesting. And saying, boom, this, like, we've got 8 red cards, 8 orange, and using color and pattern, like, you need to double code it for sure. I mean, it would be terrible if it was just colors are the suits. No, but it's all double coded, so it's all good. And I do also want to point out that I really enjoyed this bit where the pentagons kind of make a star in the negative shape. I really enjoy that. Okay, so I want to say this is going to be a fairly short stream. Once more, thank you to everyone. So thank you to Alex Cannon. Thank you very much for your continued contributions and being part of the LDEC community. It's really nice to see what you continue to make. And I would love for everyone to feel empowered to submit something, and all these people, let me know, and I'll try and get addresses from everyone and send some stuff over. But one person has to be crowned winner. Will it be? So I'm going to give ratings to everyone in terms of readability. I'll rate them out of 5, and I don't think anything's bad. I just want to make that clear. In terms of readability, prettiness, and interestingness, readability, I will give a 4 to this, like, so it's 10. Prettiness, I'll give a 4, maybe 5. Like, I'll give a solid 4. Interestingness, I'm going to give a 3 to this. Here, the readability, I will give a 3.5, like 7, 3.5. Oh, I'm breaking my own rules. It's going to be 7. And then the prettiness for me is, this is a weird one because the slightly crude nature, especially of the horse and the lion, actually, makes it more pretty for me. I'm going to give it a 7. And then in terms of interestingness, I'm going to give this a 10. I just loved this. Each time I saw a new letter, I was like, what else would be there? What else would be there? And obviously for the full game, I mean, I guess Y would be Yeti and U would be unicorn. What would be V would be vole. Z is zebra, but what's his X? What's his Q? Yeah, I'm sure there must be some animal. But yeah, is there an animal with it? Oh, there is a Xenopus. A Xenopus is a 3-clawed frog. I know that because I looked up all the words starting with X to this one. For readability, I'm going to give it a solid, let's go with 7 again. Prettiness, I'm going to give it a 6. And interestingness, I'm going to give it a 6 or 7. I don't know. 3 out of 5. I really like this. It made me smile. Thank you, Rob Cramer, for submitting it. It just, it's just wonderful, and I'm happy that it's inspired this sort of creativity. And again, this C for me is I almost wish that there were more things like that. Finally, coming to Alex's one, and thank you. I'm glad that you appreciate my knowledge of the Xenopus. Other question for people in chats: is there an animal that starts with Q? So here, what did I say? Readability. I'm going to give this one. I'm tempted to give it a 9 just in terms of letter shape, but then that purple on the black is a little bit dark, so it would be 9 purely based on the letter shape. But then the purple brings it down to a 7 or 8, but it's really readable. I just want to acknowledge how this is like just great. I mean, the only flaw that I could see is like the C, in the context of something that could be rotated, maybe a little serif, maybe coming down a little bit on the top of the C. A top serif on the C stops it being confused from several other letters. Basically, N, U, G are the things that C could conceivably be confused with. In terms of prettiness, I do really like the bright colors. I like the way it all looks, and I could imagine it being nice on the table. And I want to see all the other things, so I'm going to say it is really pretty. I'm giving it a solid 8. And in terms of interestingness, like, it makes me want to look more careful at these, and the background is working really well. The textures that are meant to be putting textures and different textures into the letters does make it really interesting to look at as presented right now. But once I'd seen all the things, I wouldn't be as excited. So I'm going to give it a solid 7, 6, 7 out of, interestingness. But this is really good. And a quail and a quokka. I don't know what a quokka is, but those are animals that starts with Q. Thank you, Alex. So I hate having to pick things. So thank you so much, Alex. Thank you so much, Rob. Thank you so much, Cerys, and thank you so much, Matthew. Once more, thank you for entering the contest. Ultimately, all of these contests are down to me. And whilst, I mean, the cash prize isn't a life-changing amount of money, but no, I'm not going to add up my scores. No, that's not how it works. Wished, away with you. And I want to say that my favourite, the one that when I looked at it, yes, there are things that I can critique about it. The turtle, like, I do kind of agree that once kind of straight, and those are slightly harsh angles, but like they're all interesting. They all made me smile every time I saw a new one. When I looked at all these things, I was having a really bad day. And then I saw one of these letters and I was, oh, that's cute. And then I looked at another one and I was, oh, wow, that's cute. Every single letter I looked at made me smile. And interestingly, it was the dolphin that, with its, which is actually the one that's drawn the most accurately, I guess, which was, oh, that's a dolphin, that's nice. But it's the confidence to just mutate the lion, to mutate the eagle, to kind of have these boom, and bringing the black line does make it readable. It is probably one of the least readable things here, and I know that the horse doesn't quite fit it, and I would almost like the horse to have a longer neck to fill in more of that H. But this, undoubtedly, it's amazing. It makes me happy. It made me smile. And for that reason, it's readable. It's aesthetically pleasing. There's no question. It's interesting. Yeah, so Cerys Sullivan, you are the winner of the 2022 ELL Art Contest. And I want to once more celebrate everyone, congratulate everyone, and yeah, it just makes me smile. I want to see all the other animals. I want to see is A going to be an anteater or an aardvark or an ape? I don't know. There's lots of choices. I mean, is, and how will the unicorn, I mean, I guess it's all kind of be super bendy, and it's just like this. This is just, yeah. Honestly, and yeah, looking at this, the interesting thing here is that, yeah. So I just want to get that out of the way. Cerys has won the LDEC design contest. Congratulations to Cerys, and I hope that we can get maybe some claps or some applause if everyone could do some clap emojis in the thing. Yoda says, can we ask Beth Sobel to do this with a plant-themed LDEC? Well, yeah, you can ask, but I'm sure that Beth Sobel would not be too keen on doing arts contests for free. I'm sure that if I paid Beth Sobel, then Beth Sobel would be up for doing paid work, but looking forward, I do want to say that print on demand does make me wonder, yeah, should I actually start opening the door to all the winners? I'm trying to remember what was the winner last year. Oh yes, it was the mushrooms. Those mushrooms were amazing. Oh, those were good mushrooms by Emily um, Shaw. Emily Brown Shaw. Yes. So Emily Brown Shaw was the first winner, and Cerys is this year's winner. But honestly, like out of this year, even some of parts of me does wonder whether it should be part of the thing where I say, yeah, 10% royalties of whatever is sold. First, I need to get categorical done. So I'm going to get the LDEC back into print by the end of the year. I am committing to that right now. I'm not saying it's going to be in any shops because I can't control that, but I am committing over the next 2 weeks before Essen, I will have drawn all the letters, numbers, and suits, and I will get categorical back into print with the help of Jack, hopefully. After that, I will be looking to do the other decks, the plant-themed deck that Miles Atkinson made, the collaged deck that, yeah, Chris made, and I do like the idea of saying, okay, can we do this deck? Because if I'm doing boxes and I don't need to do 1,000 of the same box, like how many people, I mean, obviously it's down to Cerys, but like I would like to almost offer, and like this is a really weird thing because of like it's fundamentally, would you like to do that? And if you would, then would do a Kickstarter for this thing and then combine it with maybe reprints of other stuff. And then if 50 people want it, then I would print like 60 copies. If 5, and that's the beauty of print on demand, where it doesn't need to be that many, but it could be a whole bunch of decks, and it could be something that is made available easily to anyone who wants it. And yeah, I would like to, as I get the LDEC back into print, move towards that and say, yeah, which is your favorite game? Pick this game and we will base it off that. I mean, maybe this is for Fable and it's all about a bunch, or it could be for Grabble, I don't know. It could be for whatever. And Alex says, yeah, that would be great. And yeah, 10% royalties is partially because it feels like an easy number to work out. It's fairly generous, I like to think. I mean, it means that I'm probably still covering my costs and paying a little bit for my time for running the thing, and it makes it viable because, yeah, for the whole thing of I want to keep, and yeah, it would be nice to have people working together and just, yeah, that's a really interesting thing, like the print on demand, because back when I was not doing print on demand, like doing thousands of games is a big deal. But if it's like, hey, Alex, you know what? I mean, I like these, and if you do the rest of the illustrations that are needed, the other illustrations, obviously the other letters, the numbers, and maybe some isolated suits, and card back if you want, card fronts if you want, otherwise we'll make something. But basically it would almost be like, make this about you, and then there could be a little card that says, oh, this is, and it wouldn't be an expensive production. It certainly wouldn't be a box like this. It would just be a tuck box, like a game about quickly grabbing creatures. That's totally different, and counting your turnips. I don't have one to hand. No, I don't. It's too far away. But yeah, something like that. Anyway, again, that's the end of the show. Thank you so much to Cerys. And so my final question, is question of the day. Question of the day. Here's a little question before we go on our way. So my question, to celebrate all the animals in this thing, is, do you have a favorite animal? I do like lions and squids, and if I make myself bigger for just a moment, this is a squid lion, although someone said it should be called a squillion, which I really like, or a yeah, but that's my wee picture of a lion squid thing. And I like lions, genuinely, like the manes are pretty, and yeah, I also like squids. Koala, says Yoda, is their favorite animal. How about everyone else? Do you have a favorite animal? Let me know. Otherwise, over to you. What are you up to? You can share, but only if you want to. Is there anything you want to share? Anything? I promise that I care. And at this point, today I am planning socially, personally, to head off to Cerys. It's a dancing thing. I'm going to go there tonight. I think it starts at 7. Make sure that I stop 5 or 6 and get over. I'll be going out a few times to get more drinks. My quick diet, probably cook some potatoes to supplement that diet. I'll be doing a lot of painting. That's my basic thing for today. Sorting out admin for Essen, sorting out letter shapes and drawing stuff. I've got this. Where's my paper one? Here. I've got this really nice paper, and I'm going to just use it all. How many pages? It is. Oh no, that's only 20. That's okay. I guess I'm using the heavyweight cartridge paper. That's fine. I'm using these sheets, and so I'm going to be drawing a lot of letters. I'm going to be doing the categorical letter shapes, and then whatever they end up like, that is it. So yeah, what are you up to? And Alex says it's going to take quite a lot of work to do the entire alphabet in animals. Yes, it would do. And that's also part of the whole, yeah, are people okay with that? It's like, I feel bad about, like, I don't want to commit people to do that, because obviously the ones that are the most labor intensive, the ones that are the most interesting and exciting are going to be the ones where, frankly, I am not yet at the level that I should be at to pay a decent wage. And that's the thing. I don't want it to make it an expectation that the winner then has to do that additional work. But I would like to invite them, like, if they want to do it, then no matter what it looks like, we will, yeah, once you've done the letters, then either we can do the rest or you can do the rest, and we'll, if that feels like a cool thing, then great. If it doesn't, then I don't know. That again, like, yeah, then we get into the sticky thing of, but yeah. Sorry, I'm just speaking out loud, and you know me, I say lots of things where I'm still trying to work out things as I speak out loud. So, question of the day: what's your favorite animal, and what are you up to? So, to recap and wrap up before we finish up, we had so many things. Foliage from Matthew Moore. This was like really pretty, really nicely detailed, really technically well done. And I especially like that C. That's really nice. And so even though it makes it slightly more unreadable, I really like the little lift of the E and the H and the separation. This one, congratulations, Cerys Sullivan, because it just made me smile. Every single drawing, it just made me, that's super cute. And I mean, look, we've criticized the T and the H, but it's amazing as it is, and I just want to see the rest of them. And yes, that is a lot of work because it's 7 letters to do it like this. Whereas, yeah, that's not even a quarter. 7, 14, 20. It's almost a quarter of the alphabet. So yeah, that, like, this was just like really nice to look at, and I would like to see more stuff like this, just hand drawn. Draw it using diagonal lines, draw it using dots, draw it using your natural handwriting but done more neatly, draw it using boxes, draw it using different color pens going over each other, draw it however you want. And I would love to see more people just going crazy, not going, putting a bit of sudden energy onto a bit of paper. And I love this. Like, you can really feel, the pen marks. And this is super crisp. Quite a few people consider this their favorite, where it's crisp. The letter shapes are, I mean, I would struggle to criticize any of these, and you know how much I love criticizing things. I think this is just fantastic, and I like how there's a consistency of the width. I like how there's a real chunkiness to everything, and yeah, the negative space of everything. I mean, the E is a little bit thin, but given the choice between consistent width, which you might have to do, given the reality that for a card you'd have to do consistent width and consistent height, there isn't a great way to solve for that. So I think that's actually having the thicker gap for the H and the slightly thin slivers. I mean, those slight thin slivers are still plenty thick enough to leave an impression on the eye. And this is like just a really nice typeface. So well done, Alex. And I just feel like all of these are brilliant, but there has to be one winner, and that winner was, of course, Cerys Sullivan. Congratulations again to Cerys. And thank you. Alex says, speaking out loud is usually preferable. I'd like to see them with a colourful background filling out the letter shape. Yeah, I could see that. Like, behind the turtle, maybe like a bit of water. Behind the horse, maybe like a little bit of yellow for, hey, I don't know. Something softer, maybe not white, but yeah. Yeah, I could see that. But then at the same time, there's something really pleasing about the negative shape of the C, how that works. Alex says, oh, for, I assume, for, were you talking about this one where you say capturing the dynamic energy of that C throughout the letters would be awesome? I assume this is with the typeface you were referring to. And yes, Alex, thank you again for your submission. It was really nice to see, and I hope that people will be mindful that there will be another contest next year. The deadline, I don't have all the rules written. I mean, if you send in your entry like this month for next month, it's too early. Don't do that. But I'm going to change the rules so that next year you don't send in individual letter shapes. You send in one image. Actually, I'm going to say you have to send in two images, one that is square and one that is a rectangle. And you can fill it in with other background color if you want. And those things are going to be, and then you just write in the ELL deck. I would like to have letters that could be used on a card, but at the same time, I would also like to consider people who are doing something with their typography where it can't be just a card, where it is, yeah, let's consider cursive writing or whatever. And hello, K Willow, I hope that you're generally well. So yes, there will be another contest. So it will be more about writing the ELL deck and putting it all together, whether digitally or on a single sheet of paper. And will people be allowed to use animated cards? Would I allow a GIF? I mean, I guess I might, yeah. I guess I would allow animated GIFs, yeah. Like, whatever people want to do, it's like I'd like to open it up, because whilst the ELL deck game design contest, it's always clearly, these are the games. You play with the deck. I will put one of these games as the headline game of the year down the line. But these letters may or may not become a thing. And whilst I would like to invite people, like someone who's already made a typeface, I want them to enter their typeface. Someone who's like just really good at calligraphy, I would like to allow for that, for a calligrapher to have the ELL deck, and for people who to draw however they want, whether it's animated cards or whatever. But I'm really looking forward to the ELL deck game arts contest 2023. But until then, thank you everyone once more. Congratulations, Cerys Sullivan. And to anyone watching, if you want to check me out, I am Stuff by Bez. But please do go onto YouTube and you will check and you will be able to see the links of all the artists in the description, in the show description. So some people have Twitter links. Cerys doesn't have any links at all. Some people have other links. And tomorrow I am going to be streaming again with Matilda from Milda Matilda, and we will be talking about handcrafting games. Pardon me. Wednesday with Jess. Thursday about area movement with Nikita Sullivan. Friday and so forth I'll be in Manchester. And for now, share, spread the word, tell everyone Cerys Sullivan has won. Let people know. Congratulations to Cerys Sullivan. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you, Cerys and Matthew and Rob and Alex, everyone for entering. Thank you, Yoda, and everyone for chatting along. You've been all lovely. Lots of love. And yeah, I guess the only thing really to say at this point is bye, bye. Bye, bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Thank you for letting lettering glitter your life along. That seems like a tongue twister. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.